Hey guys, it's your favorite gold miner, prospector, and geologist, Jeff Williams. Today we're gonna talk about lost treasures, but not any lost treasures. Treasures that I've validated and actually gone out to see if they exist, and they do. But stay tuned because I'm gonna show you these locations. That way you can get out there and look for some treasure too. So let's get into it. There are many, many lost treasure stories in the area that I'm about to talk about, but I've only focused on maybe 5 or 6 of them. This one is located in the south range of the McAuliffe Mountains, and those are right outside of Las Vegas. And it's a really interesting story too that has been validated. So that's why we went looking for it. Now, me and my father were chasing this one down about 25, 30 years ago. And eventually we found the location. About 20 years later, me and my wife went out there and we started hunting around this same spot.
In 1880, when southern Nevada was still a very wild country, a Colorado steamboat named the Gila was robbed near the gold mining camp of El Dorado Canyon. The thief got away with several hundred pounds of gold and silver ingots and gold nuggets and headed off on horseback to California. A posse tracking the outlaw found his dead pack horse at Crescent Spring, just south of Nipton, just inside the Nevada border. But there was no trace of the gold and silver, as it all weighed too much to be carried with the rider on one horse. So people naturally surmise that a large quantity of the gold and silver must be in the vicinity of the spring. In 1905, a small town was formed in the area called Crescent, and while digging a well at Crescent Spring, a miner discovered a silver bar from the 1880 robbery. When people heard of the discovery, they flocked to the area looking for more treasure, but nothing was found. Then, in 1914, a couple of boys riding by a nearby spring, later called Bullion Spring, found a strangely shaped rock that looked like a bar of soap. Their parents quickly realized it was a gold bar from the robbery and sold it for enough money to move back to civilization. The unusual shape came from the fact that early miners in El Dorado Canyon mines used soap mold to cast their gold into ingots. No further reports have come from that area, but the amount stolen would be a sizable cache of gold and silver to be found hiding near the spring.
Ok, pues parece que ya encontramos algo. Esperamos que sea algo bueno. Otro clavo. No, another one. Ay, this one is a very weird looking, ¿no? Está muy raro este, es como... Damn it. Decía ese mino. Bye.
So did we ever find the treasure? Well, all I can tell you is that the bars of gold were about this big. Now, me and my father used to chase these old lost treasure stories all over southern Nevada and into California and Arizona. And the way we did that was we had to build our own vehicle because back then they didn't have side-by-sides and things like that. So we built a Baja. And with that, we could get into locations that most people couldn't. It looks something like this. Now, there's a really famous story about a couple prospectors who were up in the McAuliffes, about the same area, and they were looking for a rich outcropping of gold. One of the Indians led one of the prospectors into this canyon. It was a box canyon, and at the very back was a spring, and there was a fabulously rich outcropping of gold ore. Well, of course, when the prospector turned his back to start collecting it up, the Indian smacked him over the head, leaving him for dead. Well, he wasn't exactly dead, and when he came to, he went back to his camp and found his other 2 prospector friends dead. And so he collected up what little gold ore he could, and he walked from the southern tip of the McAuliffes all the way into Las Vegas, which was, of course, a little ranch back then. And then he eventually recovered from his wounds, but he never could find that canyon again. So we went looking, and we found it. It looks something like this. All right, now all the stories that I told you about today can be found in this book, Nevada's Lost Mines and Buried Treasures by Douglas MacDonald. It's a really, really good book. And in fact, this is where we got a lot of our starting points to go out and start doing our research. Now, the neat thing about this book is that it's got maps in it. So you can actually see the general location of where it is that you need to go. It's so cool. So if you get a chance, pick this book up and you'll see the stories that I'm talking about and a whole bunch more. Now keep in mind, this is only for Nevada. We've also got books on California, Utah, and New Mexico that we're gonna cover as well. But I thought we'd start in my home state of Nevada and cover some of the stuff that I think you're gonna like. Now this next one is a fantastic example of underground rivers. I'm sure you've heard of the legendary Cocoa Reef. Well, this one, we believe, connects directly into it.
Sorry, I don't understand.
You will. Oh, look at these caves. Look at these caves. You know me, if I find a hole, I gotta get into it. I know. You're saying, Jeff, stop all that jaw jacking and tell us about the next treasure. I'm getting to it, hold on. The next one is Black Sands Cave. Now, there's a lot of lost treasure stories out there that sound just like this, and they might even be similar. But the one we were chasing is out by State Line by that new solar company called Bright Source. Oh, doesn't that look like someplace fun? Oh, you know I gotta try it. Oh, they're looking for me. Oh yeah. They're definitely looking. They knew I was gonna be out here. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. Let's get up in there and take a look. Somebody's looking real hard for somebody. Hopefully it's not me. Now the Black Sand Cave is a legendary story of a cave that was found by an old timer who was crossing the dry lake bed down at State Line. That's the boundary point between Nevada and California. And he was coming from California headed into Nevada because he was going to Searchlight because he had heart problems and he was going there to see a doctor. What he was doing crossing the desert on foot is beyond me. Well, long story short, a windstorm came along, and so he rushed into this small limestone outcropping to try to seek shelter from the wind. And when he got in there, he noticed that the cave extended, and he went along inside the cave, and it dropped down. And when he got down to the bottom, he noticed a pool of water, and there was a lot of black sand around it, and the water would rise and fall, rise and fall. And so he just naturally assumed that somehow there was an underground river that was somehow connected to the ocean and that the tides were pushing the water in and out. He collected up some of the black sand, and of course it had fine particles of gold in it. And we personally believe that this story connects in with Cocoa Reef because they both have the same type of element in them. And if you draw a straight line from Devil's Hole into this area that we think it's at, if you extend the line, it goes right over to the Cocoa Reef Caverns. So we think that there is a connection. Now there's another story of a prospector finding a lot of gold up in the Lucy Great Mountains. And he went into town one day to cash him in, and some gentlemen saw that he had gold. So they followed him to see where the gold was coming from, but unfortunately, they couldn't find him. Well, time went on. Oh, that's dear. Time went on, and they found the poor gentleman face down on the dry lake bed and his mules slaughtered. And of course, all of his provisions and gold were missing. And we think we know where those gold nuggets are coming from too. Now the location is easy to spot once you know what you're looking for. But unfortunately, I think Bright Source, which is a solar company, has purchased all the land up and you can't get in there. But if you can sneak in there, I'll leave you a location right here. Now, me and my father have chased that one for many, many years, and we think that that is the location that the old timer found. And we also think it ties into a whole bunch of underground river systems that not only connect the Cocoa Reef, but also go up to Devil's Hole, which is up in Death Valley. We think the whole system connects, and it runs right under Las Vegas, and it eventually comes out around Barstow. We hope you guys had a fantastic journey today with us, and we hope you had a Merry Christmas. I want you guys to get out there and make it a golden new year. Make 2025 the best one ever. So we want to thank each and every one of you guys out there for all the support, all the love, all the warm wishes, the comments, everything. You guys have truly made our lives better. I hope in some strange way we made your lives better, huh, sweetie?
Yes.
So anyway, we're going to see you guys next year. Make 2025 the best year ever. Get out there and make the new year a golden year. And what else, sweetie?
Feliz año.
That's right. I don't know what that means. Mwah!